welcome you guys to my YouTube channel. I'm Kolorfulking. I'm a professional cosmetologist, and I wanted to get this YouTube channel started for a while now. Now that I'm here, we're going to talk about some stuff on my channel. So, like I said, I'm a professional cosmetologist. I always wanted to do a YouTube channel where I can talk about stuff that people in the beauty industry really don't understand, or not saying that I understand everything, but just saying like some stuff that I know, that I understand, that I always see people have a hard time with. And one thing for sure that I know is hair color. Me myself personally, I like to call myself a hair color specialist when it comes down to cosmetology, only because it's my favorite thing to do and I study it a lot. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not calling myself some kind of guru, but I will say that I know my stuff when it comes down to this hair color. And I've been, doing a lot of stuff wrong for a long time, to the point that I finally figured out how to get it right. So let's get started. So today, speaking of hair color, that's what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about hair color because I feel like that's one of the hardest things in cosmetology, well, at least in hairstyling, that people can really get with. From the lightening of the hair to trying to get target colors to correcting colors. It's very, very tedious, and it takes some time for you to really understand it and get it correct fully in the first time. You're never going to get it right the first time. You know what I mean? But don't beat yourself up, because we're about to learn some stuff. So first thing you want to know, let's get started. So the first thing that you want to know about hair color before you can even attempt to try to do anyone's hair color, you need to understand one of the most important things in hair color, which is called the laws of color, and which is basically the color wheel and the level scale. You need to understand those two, because those are your keys. Like, those are pretty much the two items that will kind of guide you through getting target colors. Once you understand the color wheel and the level scale, it's going to be a breeze for you to get colors correct. All right, so let's get started. So like I said, today we're going to learn about the color wheel. And I wish I had a real color wheel for you guys. I literally just decided to do this video today, so I didn't have a real color wheel for you guys ready, but I did draw up a little diagram of a color wheel. So here on the color wheel, basically, we're going to talk about the color wheel first before we talk about the actual level scale, because that's something different. So first with the color wheel, basically the color wheel is a wheel that shows you all of the colors in the goddamn rainbow. It's showing you basically where they position, So basically, you have your primary colors, you have your secondary colors, and you have your complementary colors. Your primary colors are basically your base colors. These are the three main colors, which is your primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So what that means is basically those are base colors. You have red, you have yellow, and you have blue. If you take those three colors and you mix them together equally in equal amounts, you're going to come up to a very natural black color. It won't be jet black, but it's going to be, it's going to be a very natural looking dark brown, dark black color. You know what I mean? That's basically what makes up the color black. It's the three primary colors all mixed in one. You understand what I'm saying? Or when you take all of the colors and you put them all on one thing, you get black. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a little bit more complicated than that, but I'm gonna break it down for you guys. So basically, right, we have our cool colors, we have our warm colors, and I'm sure you guys can probably guess which colors are the warm colors and which colors are the cool colors, based off of red and blue. You understand what I'm saying? But let's get into the wheel now. So basically, like I said, I have the color red, yellow, and blue. And those are what we call the primary colors, or you can say base colors or whatever, right? Now, outside of that, if you notice, I have purple, green, and orange. And basically what that means is those are our secondary colors. The reason why they're secondary is because when you take red and blue and you mix it together, you get purple, right? And when you take blue and yellow and you mix it together, you get green. So when you take red and yellow and you mix it together, you get orange, right? So those are the second, first color is your base. You got your red, you got your blue, you got your yellow. And when you mix those colors or, do some playing around, you get secondary colors. You understand what I'm saying? So now you have your secondary colors, which are green, orange, and purple. You understand what I'm saying? But now this is the next thing we talked about, which is the complementary colors, right? And these are just basically, we all know what complementary means. It means that it complements. If you ever noticed, have you ever noticed that anytime you see the yellow color red and the color green, it always match? Or anytime you see purple and yellow or purple and gold, it's always like a perfect match. Or anytime you see orange and blue together, it's always somewhat of like a perfect match. Or pink and you can have like a light pink and pastel green. If for some reason they match, it's because they're on the opposite side of the color wheel. You understand what I'm saying? Yellow is opposite of purple, so it complements each other. They complement each other. You understand what I'm saying? Those colors will complement. If I take purple and red, they don't necessarily complement, but they won't hurt each other, but they won't complement each other as much as the contrast. It's crazy because you have such a contrast between the two shades. You have yellow, which is so bright and so, and you have purple, which is so dark and so cool, right? But when you take them two and you put them side by side, for some reason they just work. You know what I mean? And that's what they mean by complementary colors. Now, what I'm gonna get you guys to understand about complementary colors are that's where the science comes in when it comes down to getting target colors, because where I find a lot of people making mistakes is they don't really take into consideration that just because two colors complement each other doesn't mean that they will mix well in a mixture, if you understand what I'm saying. So basically, any color that complements another color will also cancel the color out. So what that means is, if I have the color yellow, which is basically right up under here, and I wanted to get rid of yellow, right? I would need to use purple to do so, because purple will get rid of yellow. If I try to get rid of yellow with blue, I'm going to turn my color green. So I'm not exactly getting rid of yellow, because green is a very yellow based color. You know what I mean? Then if I take red and try to cancel it, I'm going to get orange. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't cancel these colors. I can't take green and add it to yellow. It's just going to intensify my green. I can't take orange and add it to yellow. It's just going to intensify my orange. So the only other color that's on the wheel that will not necessarily be too weak to get rid of yellow would be my purple, because it's a mixture of blue and red. And the only thing we're missing is yellow. You understand what I'm saying? Because these are our base colors. So if I have a mixture of blue and red and I want to get rid of this will help, because it's canceling it. And remember what I told you guys in the beginning. When you start to mix these colors, you start to get the color black, which is basically a way of saying that your colors are canceling themselves out. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so there's a lot with this. Okay, so let's see if I can get you guys to understand that a little bit better, right? So like I said, if I wanted to cancel out a color, right? I'm going to give you guys an example. Let's say I dyed someone's hair. Let's say I bleach someone's hair. A lot of times when we bleach hair, or like in cosmetology, we say lighten. A lot of times when we lighten hair, especially my hair, like I'm going to use my hair as an example. My hair, when I lighten my hair, it always lightens to a very yellow, goldish tint. it takes a very long time to get my hair to get to a high enough level for me to wear like pastel colors and stuff like that. So I'm always like in the middle. So but what you get is like a yellow tone. And a lot of times if you notice that in blonde hair or 613 hair, the hair is always very yellow looking. And they always like, well, we have to tone it out. What can we use to tone it out? But if you ever pay attention to things that they use, to the different colors that they use to tone those colors, not necessarily change them, but tone them, when they want to like take that yellowness out of the blonde, but they still want to have nice ashy blonde hair or white blonde, they always use like a T18 or something like that, which is, and when you pour it out of the bottle, you always notice that the dye looks like it's like a purple color or a purple shampoo, shimmer lights or something like that. You always notice that the dye is a purple color. You can actually use like purple if you're, if you're good enough, you can actually use purple dye to tone someone's blonde hair into white if you're good enough. But basically you always notice that it's purple. The reason why it's purple is because the purple will cancel out the yellow. When you put the purple on, the yellow, it starts to mask it. And then when you mix those two together, they meet in the middle. So when they start to meet in the middle, you're going to get that black tone. Now, if we're really, really in a light cell, it's not going to be black. It's going to be gray. But you're canceling it out. You understand what I'm saying? And that's basically what that is. If you ever see someone with red hair, like let's say I've dyed my hair to like a really bright red, but now I want to go like blue or green or something like that. I'm gonna have to take this red off, because one thing about red, that's actually something else I want to talk about later on. I want to actually get into something. No matter of fact, let's just get into that. Okay. Red is a very, very, very tricky color. Red is actually tricky because it's the hardest color to lift. It's the hardest color to get rid of. Like, it's easy for blue to come out. It's easy for, like, greens and stuff. But red is hard to get out because it's very strong. Like I said, you turn blue into purple with red. Not so much the turning red into purple with blue, if you understand what I'm saying, because you can add blue to to red, and it'll still turn, but the more blue you add, the deeper it will turn, and it will just be blue again. But if you keep adding red to blue, you're going to get a more deeper purple color. So it's like, red is hard to get rid of. Red is in orange, red is in purple. Yellow is, basically a base. So it's not as bright. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not as intense to get rid of, And the first color to leave, once you start to bleach your hair or do any type of removal of color, the first color that leaves, or, that leaves, is the blue, because it's the darkest color. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So once that color starts to lift, you're going to go right into this brown stage, and then you're going to go into this orangey brassy stage, and you're going to go to this yellow stage. And that's because blue leaves first, and then red starts to leave. But red takes a very long time to get out. So that's that on that. But speaking of the color red, let's say I wanted to get rid of red, and let's say I bleached my hair, and I'm like looking at my hair, and it's got like these little red specks that just didn't come out. But I don't want to do another bleaching process, because bleaching does damage the hair, and I don't want to continue to just bleach my hair. Like, you know what I mean? So what I could do is, if I'm not too against doing this, I could actually just take some green, because green cancel. If you notice on the wheel, remember we said about purple and yellow, well, opposite of red is green. Remember I said those two complement each other, but they also will cancel each other out. And I think everybody knows that if you take red and green and you mix it together, you get like this brown color. But if you play with those two, you can definitely just cancel them out. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't do it correctly, you will get brown, and that will not be what you're looking for, I've been there. So right now, we're going to talk about my hair. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but my hair is like a greenish, some specks of blue, but for the most part, I want to tell you guys how I got to this and what I don't like about it and what I want to do to fix it. So I got this color because I was trying to achieve like a, let me see, how could I put this? I wanted to achieve like a silver platinum color, platinum blonde color, right? But I have really, really, really black hair. And that's where the level scale comes into play. There is actually 10 levels on the level scale. And basically the level scale is from dark to light. So number 1 being the darkest hair and number 10 being the lightest blonde. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but on like on a hair color box, I want to give you guys an example. Let's see. Okay. So you guys ever noticed on the side of a hair color box where you will have like the different, you have black and you have like brown. And these are actually 3 shades from the level scale. This would be like one of the darkest, which looks like a number 2 or something like that. And then, you know, here is probably like a number 5 or 6. And then up here, we go into like our number, I would like to say 7 or 8. Okay, so basically, what this basically is basically telling you if you start here, you'll end up here if you use this kit here. But basically, this is the levels of where you will be. So if you start at this level and you use this product, you will end up at this level. You understand what I'm saying? Which is basically like a couple of levels up here. So let's see if I can help you guys better understand that. The level scale is basically from dark to light, 1 to 10. You start off at 1 if you have black hair, and if you're blonde, you might be up in the 10 or, 10 or 9 or 8. Basically, it goes from 1 to 10, and when you bleach hair, you ever know on the bottles of bleach, you always notice that there is a volume on there, and it's basically telling you the numbers, like it'll be 10 volume, 20 volume, 30 volume. Well, basically what that is it's basically letting you know how many levels this could lift in that particular time. So like say for instance, if your bottle says, hey, this could lift in 40 minutes, right? And let's say I have black hair. Now, everyone is not the same, so this outcome won't be for everybody. But like, let's say if I have black hair and I'm using a 30 volume developer, I think that my natural hair is a level 10. I mean, is a level 1. So I think if I'm using a 30 volume developer, it's only going to take me up to 3 to 4 levels. Why? Because it's the number 3. So it's only going to go up 3 to 4 levels. You understand what I'm saying? I did one. 3 to 4 levels. And before it stops working. And basically, so if I'm on level 10, if I'm on level 1, like I said, and I'm going to go up to 3, 4, 5. Like I told you in the beginning of this video, I said, whenever I bleach my hair, it's never blonde. Like I can have the bleach in for 45 minutes and it will not be blonde. It will be a very goldish, brassy looking color, not blonde. It's not, not as light as I want it to be. And that's because my hair is, if I'm using a 30 volume developer, my hair is only lifting 3 to 4 levels. If I'm at a level 1 or 2, then that means that my hair is only going to lift to a level 6. And in most cases, people want level 10 blonde. They want their hair to be white blonde so that they can, put these bright colors on it and these colors be vibrant and show. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the thing. So Depending on what color you want and exactly how bright or how intense you want your color, that's where the level scale comes into play. So like, let's say I wanted to make my hair lavender. I would need for my, but I'm starting with black. I would need for my hair to be very blonde to make it lavender, because lavender is not only purple, but it's also a very pastel, light, soft purple that is done on a white base. You understand what I'm saying? So I would need my hair to be very, very light, or I'm not going to get lavender. Um, I would need to lift my hair to at least a level 10 in order to get a lavender to be very vibrant and pretty. Or if you want it to be deeper, I can stop it at like a level 6, start trying to put the color purple in. And then what I'll notice about my hair is that it's turning more blue, because I feel like I'm saying a lot of stuff. I feel like my hair would turn a little bit more blue if I try to do it then. Because if you have that orange base and you start putting that purple on top of that orange, that the blue that's in that purple is going to cancel that orange. But you also got to remember that red is also in purple, and it will probably intensify it. So it's easy. So I would most likely try to get my hair to be a little bit lighter and get as much of the orange and red out as much as I can before I apply any type of purple to it. Because what tends to happen when you add purple to your hair when it's not light enough is that it intensifies the reds that are in it, and it turns your hair too purple, and you don't get the blonde that you want. You end up getting like this lavenderish looking purple, but if you want that, that's great. That's why a lot of people, if you ever seen when I was in hair school, we did a lot of old ladies hair. And I would always be I had this one client that would come in there and she would get her hair bleached to just like ice blonde. Like she had this toner that she liked specifically. She never liked to use the Shimmer Lights shampoo, even though I was bleaching her hair to like a fucking level 11 or 12 or something like that, because she would be like getting it really, 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 really bleached up. And she wore it really short, so it wasn't like it was damaging or anything like that. She always got a very short haircut. She was a very nice looking woman. Very nice style, very swagged out. And she wore her hair blonde, but like really, really ice white blonde. And she's basically the reason why I know how to get these colors. It's just harder on my own hair for some reason, because I know that I don't want to damage my own hair. I don't want to damage my scalp. I don't want to burn myself. So it's different reasons why I say, hey, if it doesn't work, then I won't do it. You know what I mean? But for other people, when they want things done, it's like, oh, hey, I'll do it. But for her, her hair was definitely something that I learned a lot of how that she was one of the people that kind of really gave me that opportunity to really understand how blonde hair works, because that's another thing too. People think because hair is blonde that you can just throw any color on there and it would just be like, and you have to be technical that blonde hair also has different tones. There's highlights, there's lowlights. You know what I mean? But that's another video. And we're going to talk about blonde hair. Actually on my next video, like maybe we'll talk about blonde hair, but we'll see. But this video, I wanted to continue on the hair color stuff. So, but like I was saying, when you have blonde hair, sometimes you think you can throw any color on there and the color will just come out perfect, but you have to be mindful of those tones, because those tones and how blonde that hair is, what level is that hair? Some people say that honey blonde, which is like a level 6 or like a level 6 or 5, people say that that's blonde, and to me, I think that's just really dark brown, really light brown. You know what I mean? So I feel like depending on what you want to execute, is basically how you want to go about it. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to take one more good look at this color wheel, and if you get a chance to, go on Google and Google a color wheel, Google the laws of color, and Google the color wheel, and also Google the color level scale. And it will be a breakdown. You'll and read through it, get to know that stuff. Because let me tell you something, when we start getting into some stuff on my channel, let me let you know that it's going to be a lot of fun things that we're going to be doing. And I know how much people be wanting to like achieve certain target colors and stuff like that, and just different things that we're going to do on my channel that I really just I'm excited for. So that's the end of this video. I wanted to just thank you guys for watching, and like and subscribe. Keep this thing going. And I'll be back with my next video.